I really love it, actually.
Everything is lost. Everything I've loved before is gone. Alone, like the coming of the frost in a cold winter's chill. My stony heart. Where were you when I hoped for? Where were you when all that I've dreamed came crashing down in shambles around me? You were on the cross. Could you take away the pain? If I find someone to blame, will you make my life seem easier? Oh, my friends are asleep, and I can't find anyone to stay awake with me. Where were you when sin stole my innocence? Where were you when I was
I got into some really bad situations, and I was pursuing my own selfish desires.
When I was growing up, I knew about Jesus, but I didn't really know Jesus.
I grew up in a Christian home. I had two very godly parents, Japanese missionaries, and we grew up knowing that Christ was real.
I grew up knowing a bit about God, but I wasn't pursuing Him with my life. I didn't know what that really meant. At about the age of 16, I started smoking cigarettes, and from there, one thing led to another. I got arrested for stealing, and from there I started smoking marijuana and started selling marijuana. Then I tried some different drugs like mushrooms and whatnot. It was dark. It was void. There was nothing.
We were into the partying crowd, and lots of the young people I'd gone to school with, we kind of hung out together, and pretty soon I'm just going after what I wanted, and a new road for me, and all the doors were open, and so I was ready to try out every door.
I think my spiritual journey has been a bunch of aha moments. At 6 years old was the first time I knew that God was real, and I knew that Jesus belonged with me and in my heart. When I was in grade 10, I was in Japan for a year with my family, and that was another aha moment when you get taken away from your friends and what you find comfortable, and you find yourself in a place where it's you and a bunch of strangers, but you know that you still have God.
I think back in those days, going from girlfriend to girlfriend, I was definitely seeking connection, although I was looking for it in the wrong place. I didn't really care who it was. They didn't matter to me. It was just that I needed something to fill that void that Jesus filled eventually. What surprised people a lot was how much I did smoke weed. It was every day, about 10 times a day. I'd wake up in the morning as the first thing I did. I couldn't sleep at night unless it was because I was high, and I couldn't eat during the day unless it was because I was munching out.
It just seemed like the combination of alcohol and partying and who you were going to go to bed with later. I traveled a bit, went overseas, worked, and I thought traveling was something I really desired. Getting tired of always just being out there searching and not even know what you were searching for.
When I was in Japan in grade 10, it was a growing year because you're out on your own, you're in high school, you're developing as turning into an adult eventually. You're going through a lot of development, and just being able to have a little freedom and independence out there in Japan was formative. And yet God is so good. I understood that I can be dependent on Him because He takes care of us.
And one night I was at a party, and I got this really strong urge to pray, which never happened. And I decided to follow it. So I'm just sitting there drinking, smoking, whatever, carrying along. And I bowed my head and I started to pray in my head. And when I opened my eyes, I started to cry, and I didn't know why. It was like I saw the things that they were doing, and it became clear to me those things weren't what I needed from my life. Look around, and I'm crying, and these people that I was sitting there drinking with are like, "What do you do?" I don't think it was so much the words that I was praying that were important. It was just that I was obeying what God wanted, and I saw that blessings came from it.
My sister, who was living in Whitehorse at the time, would be in touch with me quite frequently. And it seemed every time she would call me, she was quoting scriptures to me and telling me that I had to be saved. She was desperately pleading with me that I had to give my life to Jesus Christ, which I totally didn't understand.
When I realized that the people that I influence the most are in my office, I'm bumping shoulders with them every day. They're seeing what makes this guy different constantly. That's when I realized that, God's given me this office, these staff members, for me to speak into and just be a positive witness. As an office, we've been going to Romania to do dental work for this will be the 8th year, I guess. My intention was to go over there and not just be a humanitarian effort, but to actually share what Jesus would do over there, the hands and feet of serving the poor and the needy.
At the age of 16, I got a tattoo, this one, It just says Dad, Mom, Noah, and Josh, which is me. The only time you'll see my whole family together is on my arm, because my parents are divorced and whatnot. And I guess I'll have to get a separate tattoo for my fiance. I'm looking forward to getting married right away because I heard everything's real easy after that.
Looking for a man, or looking for love, or looking for wealth, or looking for whatever I was looking for, and it was really him. I no longer have the desire to fill those things in my life. I can never imagine going back to the life that I once had. Now that I know Christ, my life is filled with incredible joy.
God sent his son, Jesus, to the earth solely to reconcile our relationship with him. The only thing that separated us from God was that presence of sin. Be forgiven, be accepted, be loved, be reconciled, be transformed. When Jesus died on the cross, he destroyed death, sin, and the grave. He was resurrected, and he entered my life to give me life.
In comparison, my life was empty, but now it's full.
My life went from darkness to light.
Why don't you stand with us as we sing together and celebrate Christ raising from the dead. The song may be new to some of you, and that's fine. Let no one caught in sin remain inside the lie of inward shame, but fix our eyes upon the cross and run to him who showed great love and bled for us. Freely you've bled for us. Christ is risen from the dead, trampling over death by death. Come awake, come and rise up from the grave. Christ is risen from the dead. We are one with him again. Come awake, come and rise up from the grave. Beneath the weight of all our sin, you bow to none but heaven's will. No scheme of hell, no scoffer's crown, no burden great can hold you down. In strength you reign forever. Let your church proclaim Christ is risen from the dead, trampling over death by death. Come awake, come and rise up from the grave. Christ is risen from the dead. We are one with him again. Come awake, come and rise up from the grave. Oh, death, where is your sting? Oh, hell, where is your victory? Oh, church, Come awake, come awake, come and rise up from the grave. Christ is risen from the dead. We are one with him again. Come awake, come awake, come and rise up from the grave. Christ is risen from the dead. Triumphing over death by death. Come awake, come awake, come and rise up from the grave. Christ is risen from the dead. We are one with him again. Come awake, come awake, come and rise up from the grave.
Man, thanks. Wow. You can be seated for a minute here. I really want to say welcome to you this morning. We're here celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. I hope that's been really clear so far, but we're going to keep doing that. And I really want to especially say welcome to you if you're a guest. Obviously, there's a couple churches hosting this, but if one of those isn't your churches, welcome. And especially if you're kind of still searching in terms of faith and in terms of where your heart is, we just really want you to feel comfortable here. We want you to kind of just engage and just let you know that this is a place where you are very welcome. You don't have to be like 100% aligned with the people on stage in terms of everything to really engage in this. So I just really want to say welcome to all of you. This is our 9th year doing this. Can you believe that? We'll decide if we'll go to 10 or not based on how many of you smile as you leave, I guess.